everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Sonic the Hedgehog, issue number 23, IDW Comic Review. Now, as you know, the metal virus is meant to show how Eggman is more willing to cross the line now, and that he's basically taken over the world, turning every living thing into a zombot. And the story is meant to take place how Sonic is trying to create the vaccine, and let's get on the story. It starts off how Sonic is running to see how Tails is alright. We are introduced back to issue 21, where Tails is basically in Central City, but tells Sonic to keep running and to make sure that he can find a way to create the vaccine. So we see how Sonic says, "Sure, you go, be brilliant. And now I'm my only abilities again. Really, that doesn't feel this lonely." And even remembers back at the town where him and Knuckles took down Rough and Tumbles, and though they've probably got turned into zombots, and the place had become victims of the metal virus. And Sonic says, "Should I check for survivors?" And do what, smart guy? You can't carry them. And realise that he's got to do what he's got to do after seeing Eggman. And we see Sterling saying, "Now trying frequency 41.12. Oh, zombots, this is your master speaking. Everyone, I don't know, look east." So you can kind of tell Sterling is getting annoyed with Eggman's irresponsibility, and even Eggman's getting annoyed with Sterling's more voice of reason. And even says about using the warp topaz with the Master Emerald, which he says, "Absolutely not! When I found it, the warp topaz responded strongly to even the most passive of energy waves," and even points out that one time it altered reality. And so we kind of see how Eggman says, "It will be fine, we just have to be cautious." Cautious? You are anything but cautious. You had yet to introduce us to the metal virus. And Eggman points out there's no vaccine, and Sterling is quick to point out Eggman's irresponsibility, saying, what if there was a spill? What if something happened? And you can kind of tell Eggman doesn't really care and doesn't want to hear Sterling's words of wisdom. We see Sonic going, is the honeymoon over already? So we kind of see how Sonic basically is disgusted with what Eggman's done, and knows that Sterling is responsible for bringing him back to being Eggman, and thought that him being Mr. Tinkerer would have been something better for him, as it had a chance for him to have a normal life. And when he says, "Oh, what, you want me to be a terrible goody two-shoes, fixing doorknobs, building toys?" And you can kind of tell from his expression, he does kind of hint to feel like that was a good life for him, but still doesn't care. And points out how they're basically the same, which Sonic doesn't agree on, as he knows that Eggman's evil, and Sonic isn't anything like him. And so we kind of see how Sonic tries to take on Eggman, and we kind of see how Sterling even remembers how Neo Metal Sonic pretty much was close to victory, but was a bit more rasher, and even knows that Eggman isn't the guy he seems to be. And so we see how Sonic tries to give Eggman a taste of his own medicine by throwing him into the city with zombots, which Sonic says, "Sure would be nice if you had a cure handy. Stay back! Command you!" And so they try to go for him, which Sterling decides to find the frequency and tells him to use it, which Sonic says, "No!" And basically speeds up, destroys Eggman's transportation, which Sonic says, "No zombots, army for you. Pick me up! Pick me up!" And so, after basically crashing down, and then basically no longer having control of the zombots, they basically have to make a run for it, now that they're coming up the building. And so we kind of see how Eggman and that head back to their base, and Sonic says, and Sterling pretty much points out Eggman's failures again, and needing to work on the frequency again, which he says it's too risky, and says basically to stand and do nothing until the virus has properly covered things over. And you can tell Sterling's thinking, are you really the guy I looked up to? And we see how Sonic notices that the device Tails made has been broken, and that he's screwed up big time, and has to leave quickly to get rid of the metal virus. So, pretty much Sonic gets word from Amy that the HQ base has fallen, and that they're going to Tangle's hometown, which he quickly heads off to. We see how Sherlock is talking with Master Zik, who says, "But vengeance must be exact. It was wise of you to have us bide our time, letting our hatred and anger faster, and now our patience has paid off." And we see how Sterling points out that he'll need their help now more than ever, and wants a demonstration of their powers, which Sherlock shows that he can control Eggman's robots, and those that can work on the Zombots. And so, pretty much, we see how Sterling has prepared himself, as he remembers that Eggman had a special conch that he can use to control the Deadly Six, and which he says, "Means I'm already prepared. Take note, Eggman, this is how you do it." And yeah, this is the story. So this one is not too bad filler. You can kind of tell Sterling is getting annoyed with Eggman's irresponsibility, and you can kind of tell there's signs that Eggman does misses his old life, his new life, but doesn't really see anything else from it. So I think this issue deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.